So and you see how they glorified these people that came over and they took your land. They took our ancestors' land. They murdered and killed them. Like, look, even when you go back to the Aztecs, this is what they did to the northern kingdom of Israel. Take a look at this real quick. I'm going to switch sides with you. So, let me see. You see how they have us hung up right here? Come, you can get closer. You can take a good look at this, man. You see how they have us hung? Now, you see they used to hang us up by 13s. Why? Because of the 12 disciples plus Christ. So that's how they used to hang us up. Now, I want you to look at this part right here. What does he have in his hand? What is that?
Is that a baby?
A baby. And what does it look like he's getting ready to do?
Beat that guy with the baby.
Right, he's about to smash that baby into the wall. This is the history that they did to your forefathers, your foremothers. They used to take our people. Look, you see here where they used to impale them on stakes, and they brought the cross. I don't think we have it on this picture, but they brought the cross as Christianity. Matter of fact, give me happy shall they be.
Who are we talking about here?
Who that did it?
Yeah.
So who did it? So who brought those? So the nation of people that came over, the conquistadors, who were now, they claim to be Spanish or Spaniards, right? But what's their real nationality? The Bible calls them Esau, and I'm about to get that. Hold that. He had a question about who are they. So let's go back to the origin of Esau, Genesis 25. We've had many nations do that to us because we had the sub-Saharan slave trade. We had things happen in the Middle Passages. We've been in slavery in and out, even Africans, which we are not. A lot of our people think just because we fled to Africa, they think that that's where that we're the same people, but they don't understand that we're separate. So read that for me.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 25. And the first came out red, all over, like an hairy garment. And they called his name Esau.
So they described what Esau looked like. This was Rebekah having these twins, right, from Isaac. So Isaac had two sons, Esau and Jacob, right? It said the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. Now let's look at America. Let's look at all over the world today. What nation of people are red and hairy, where their blood shows through their skin and they're very, very red? They even have a saying for them down in the South.
Irish?
No, not the Irish, but white people in general, right? So, and I'm going to show you how this fits them. Not because when I say that fits them, granted that other nations did put us into slavery, I'm going to show you that they were the last ones to do this, right? So now, go back to Deuteronomy 28. Give me verse 48. I didn't get to 32? Well, skip down there. Give me 48.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
So this is part of the curses that was going to be among us, right? So we about to identify what nation this is. Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger.
So now, as a nation that runs the world, or runs this nation world to, who do we have to depend on for? It said in hunger, right? Was that the one? In hunger. So who do we have to depend on to get food? Because a lot of us, even though you may have black and Hispanic farms, they usually jack up the prices to move them out. So that's why a lot of them go out of business quick, right? So your major farms and so forth, who owns these things? White people do. And even that, the grocery stores, whatever grocery store that you want to open up, right, you still have to be taxed by them. We don't really get none of the food, or we have to depend on them to ship the food back and forth because we don't have our own transportation lines, right?
Talking about, like, this is back in the day, right?
No, even now, right now. We're gonna keep going. I'm gonna show you. Read.
And in thirst.
And in thirst, right? Do you own a beach? Can you open the beaches and close them anytime you want to? But who does?
Government.
The government. Who runs the government?
Technically Joe Biden right now.
But what race of people?
It's supposed to be the people.
Right, it's supposed to be but what race of people own the world right now?
I guess we want to say, like, that's white people.
White people, right? Now, I'm going to keep reading, though. It's going to get more clear. Read.
And in nakedness, and in want of all all things.
Right.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
So somebody get one of these for it. It said, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, right? So let's look at these pictures, and this one here too. What nation of people put yokes of irons on a nation's neck? Because black people, when did we do that, right? So what nation of people put yokes of irons upon our necks?
I mean, I guess it's
Not guess. What's the history say?
white.
White people, right? Huh?
It's so long ago. It's just not,
Well, okay, so remember, it says, remember the days of old. It's one in Psalms. If somebody can find that for me real quick, because I'm going to show you that God doesn't forget. A lot of our people forget. So, for example, you're on Black Wall Street, right? So, just like you, just like me, you from a...
in all actuality, this is, I guess it's just a fact, but like even white people are starting to be the minority. You know what I mean?
Why? You know why? Because they're not fitting into the plan. They got the coronavirus coming, so now they are wondering what's happening. Because remember, there's a clip. If you ever Google airport clip, don't treat me like a black person. So a white person was getting arrested, and in that video clip, his words is not verbatim, but it's something to the fact. Don't treat me like a black person, because while black people get arrested, it's different by the way white people get arrested, right? Did you find that scripture for me? Read that.
Psalms chapter 143, verse 5. I remember the days of old.
God said he remembers the days of old. Matter of fact, now go back to Psalms where it said, happy shall thy be, because that's what I want to get to. So remember, dash that baby up against the stone, right? So let's see what God says according to that. Read that.
Psalms chapter 137, verse 9. Happy shall he be.
So he's talking about the Israelites. Happy shall he be, read,
that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones.
So God said the same thing is going to happen to them. Show you something that God don't forget. Read that.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity
So God said those people that led into captivity, come on,
shall go into captivity.
it said shall go into captivity. Not no maybe, not no might, like, I don't know. He said shall go into captivity. Come on. Now, mind you, this is Revelation. This is the New Testament, the end of the book, right? Come on.
He that killeth with the sword.
Who goes around conquering and killing? Now, the sword is just another term for weaponry, right? Because back now, technology has evolved. We use guns, missiles, and stuff like that. Well, they do. So what nation of people goes around and conquers and kills people with the sword?
Russians.
But they are white. Even though they call themselves by different names, Russians, Germans, Irish, Spaniard, or whatever the case may be, they're still the same nation of people. They are still what God calls the race of Esau. Come on.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
So God said those people that killed with the sword must be killed with the sword. Now I'm about to ask you a question. What brought you to Black Wall Street?
Black Wall Street? Is that what this is? I'm new to Tulsa. I've only been.
Oh, you didn't know this was Black Wall Street? You see where it says Historic Greenwood right there? If you go in, the first door on your left-hand side, there's a little hallway, and it has the history of the things that happened, right? Or down there on the corner, you can even take a tour and so forth, right? But they dropped dynamite and destroyed the community, and they never did anything to them. Nothing. They stayed to themselves, right? So now, after they dropped dynamite on them, right? Guess what happened? Did you know that they also collected insurance money on the bullets that they used and the bombs? But yet the people that own businesses on these blocks didn't get not one penny. Not one. And guess what? Now they gentrify it, and look what they're building now. These aren't black. A lot of these aren't necessarily black-owned businesses. You have the baseball stadium over there. You got hotels that they building up there. You have white people coming freely looking at the history of what they did to us. So now they don't forget. They continue to perpetuate the system. They continue to put us in these situations. So why should we as a people forget? That is the problem that we have. We're too quick to forgive. But go ahead. You had a question.
What's the goal?
What's the goal? I got you. That's an excellent question. Give me Ecclesiastes real quick. Our goal is to wake up our people and get them to realize who they are so Christ can save us and get us up out of here and destroy the people that put us in this position. Read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
Right.
Fear God and keep his commandments.
So it said, fear God and keep his commandments.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.